Now let's go through some exercises where we are translating objects in the coordinate plane. Here's our first one. Let each XY pair in quadrilateral ABCD be mapped to x plus h, comma y plus k. This can be written in two other ways. You could write it as capital T for translation with the vector h, comma k, and then the colon, and we're doing the translation of rectangle ABCD, and it's mapped to rectangle A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. You could also write the translation as capital T with a colon, and then the coordinates x, comma y in parentheses goes to, in parentheses again, x plus h, comma y plus k. So in this example, what is h and what is k? And how can we rewrite the translation using one of these notations? Well, if we take one coordinate from our original rectangle, let's say we do point A, and we're going to see how many spaces and in which direction we have to travel to get from A to A prime. So let's first start by going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. And those 6 units are in the positive direction. Now let's travel vertically. We have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the downward direction. So that's going to be -4. Therefore, our h value is +6. Our k value is -4, because again, we had to travel downward. So this makes our translation go from x, comma y to x plus 6, y minus 4. And the solution on this slide is exactly the same as the solution that we just found. We had to go down 4 units and to the right 6 units. Therefore, our translation went from x, comma y to x plus 6, comma y minus 4. Now let's work through an example where we are finding the image of a translation. So we have triangle DEF shown here in the coordinate plane, and it's going to go through a translation with an h value of -2 and a y value of +5. So let's first determine what the coordinates are for the original vertices, or the vertices within our pre-image. So point D is at -2, +3. Point E is at -4, -3. And point F is at point 3, -4. Now if we make triangle DEF go through a translation with an h value of -2, or it could also be written as x minus 2, y plus 5 to get to triangle D prime, E prime, F prime. Well, if we put -2, 3 in for x and y in this rule, we will end up getting -2 minus 2, which is -4, and 3 plus 5, which is 8. So point D prime will be at -4, 8. Point E prime, if we go and put -4 into our translation function, we would have -4 minus 2, which is -6, and -3 plus 5, which is +2. So our point E prime will be at -6, +2. And then our point F prime, let's substitute our coordinates for F into our translation function, and we'll have 3 minus 2, which is 1, and -4 plus 5, which is also 1. So we'll be at 1, 1 for F prime. Now that we have the coordinates for points D prime, E prime, and F prime, we can connect them in our graph to form our image triangle. So we now have triangle D prime, E prime, F prime. Next, draw segments D to D prime, E to E prime, and F to F prime. So if we draw these segments in, I'll do them as dashed segments. Same with E to E prime, and from F to F prime. What relationships exist among these three segments? Take a moment to pause this video and think about it, and when you're done, unpause it. Well, the orange dashed segments are congruent to one another, and they're parallel to one another. You're traveling the same distance from the original point to the image point, and they're all going in the same direction, making them parallel. Here's another exercise about writing a translation rule. Write a translation rule that maps quadrilateral PQRS to quadrilateral P prime, Q prime, R prime, S prime. Well, let's first start by choosing one of the original vertices from the pre-image. So let's do point P, and we are going to count the number of spaces required to get from P to P prime. So we're going to go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I had to go 10 units to the right. And now we have to travel upward. So we have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 upward is in the positive direction. So therefore, we can write this translation rule as capital T for translation with the vector coordinates of 10, 5, and then a colon. And we did, in parentheses, P, Q, R, S, and we traveled to P prime, Q prime, R prime, S prime. You could also write it as T with a colon, X comma Y, goes to X plus 10, Y plus 5.